am S.N. Tripathi. I am an IS officer of 1985 batch Odisha cadre. Now, after retiring as Secretary, Ministry of Parliament Affairs, I am working as Director General IIPA, Indian Institute of Public Administration. I am happy to answer a few questions regarding India at 75. Let me put it very theoretically. While Western management thought has been deeply influenced by the ideas of Darwin, Maslow, and Marx, today a strong need is being felt for following a paradigm shift. In fact, a paradigm shift from Darwin to Dharma, from Maslow to Moksha, and from Marx to Mahatma. And I believe in this. I'm not saying because I'm a retired bureaucrat. I do believe that that's how we can improve the government and governance in our own situation. We have far too long, in fact, for last 70 years, 7 or 8 decades, we've been following a system which is based on Macaulay's system, where delivering governance to the choice of rulers was our objective. Now those things have changed, and we have to change that mindset. And the paradigm shift from Darwin to Dharma implies a shift in thinking from survival of the fittest to the duty of the fittest. I am repeating it, from survival of the fittest, which was the Western philosophy. In India, we follow, at least in Orissa as a bureaucrat, we were following duty of the fittest and empowerment of the weakest. And this is the theory that we followed, and it gave a lot of dividend to us. And the shift from Maslow's to moksha, as I was telling earlier, it implies a shift from self-actualization, all that I do for myself, versus self-realization, all that I can do for the society. And this self-actualization to self-realization is not a small shift. It is a tectonic shift in the thought process of managers and management. And that is why it is from achievement to achievement plus enlightenment is the target that we are, in fact, in teaching in our bureaucrats, and we expect bureaucrats to also have the same. The age of faceless, nameless, and perhaps useless bureaucrat is over. They have to be active participant in policy making, execution of the program, give a right feedback to the policy maker, so that this loop is established in a circular, cyclic, and dynamic fashion than just like implementing all that is received without any application of mine. Secondly, I also believe that the role of state and bureaucracy is changing. We are emerging out of our economic reforms of 1991, which was caused by balance of payment crisis. Government took some bold steps at that point of time for improving the license permit raj, rather removing it, and opening economy for what I call it factor sector reform or factor reforms, including land, capital, and labor. We all know that land is located in the state, but in Indian situation, labor and capital were fairly mobile. We had a one nation, one market for labor, and we had one nation, one market for capital, both for FDI as well as FII. But this experience of post 91 needs a reboot and perhaps repurpose at the Government of India level. And same is required even in the bureaucrats also. I was asked to tell something about the GDP mix and all that the bureaucrat can do. I do believe that gross domestic product, the way economists assess it, I have good luck to them because the way they understand, the way they interpret, and the way it is converted into statistical jugglery, very few people understand. Because when you see that growth is there and it is jobless growth, it doesn't convince the youth who is joining the job market. If you say that economy is growing when my income remains frozen, it doesn't convince me. We all know that globally that the GDP is growing, but GDP is growing for few. It is not growing for all. And GDP mix in India is also changing. We have shifted very quickly from primary sector to tertiary sector, bypassing the secondary sector. In other words, from agriculture straight away to the IT and ITES in every digital economy, bypassing the manufacturing sector, which is the intermediate sector. In fact, the manufacturing sector, which creates sustainable job, long-term job, and perhaps adds to the economy in a very, very different and significant way. And today, the time has come to reboot Indian bureaucracy so that they change their mindset and I usually call it the colonial mindset or East India Company mindset. In post-independence, we all treated every company, whether it is public or private sector, as if it represents East India Company. And East India Company syndrome, coupled with colonial mindset, made bureaucracy virtually miles away from people. Even the public representatives were misunderstood by the people. When you talk about industrialization, entrepreneurship, and value creation in other than government sector, people suspect the government. We all know how CAG report of 1,76,000 crore loss was interpreted, rather over-interpreted, and people misunderstood the intentions. I'm not saying that everything was okay, but nothing was that bad the way it was projected. It attracted our psyche that we as a nation should be seen with the poor only. We should not be seen with the entrepreneur at any point of time. And this is what I call it colonial mindset and perhaps East India mindset. When the government in 2014 or 6-7 years earlier tried to reboot this system, repurpose this bureaucracy for that purpose, then the fault lines are fairly visible. Reform, perform, and transform is understood differently by different people. When reform is essentially political, the government of the day has to do like legal reforms, removing the laws, enacting new laws, and perhaps recasting the policies because policies are not cast in the stone. But then performance is essentially bureaucratic. If bureaucracy is not in tune with that, bureaucracy is not aligned with that reform process, the results will not be visible. Same thing is true for transformation. We have about 4 million elected representatives at Panchayat level. We have equally vibrant civil society, what we call it third sector of economy. And all these combined need to be associated so that results of reform and perform result into transformation of the society and relations of government and bureaucracy. And it is this environment that creates a questionable situation. A lot of effort are now being made to see that the reform, perform, and transform ideology of the government is converted into minimum government and maximum government. We have seen when people are allowed to become entrepreneur, they become job creator, they become wealth creator, they are respected in the society, they are made available a trained manpower through a skilled manpower, they are made available a good credit and ease of doing business, they perform. The Indian MNCs like Tata Group, the Adani Group, the Reliance Group, the many other groups which are there in education, health, and let's say Medanta Group, and the HCL Computers, Infosys, TCS, all these are Indian MNCs. They have performed well because now they are respected in the area. They are no longer equated with the East India companies and they are treated as if wealth created for the nation. And this mindset, I call it, will take the India forward. Maybe I am retired bureaucrat, but I do have some thought on these lines that if we believe in minimum government and maximum governance, then we have to rely on the entrepreneurial mindset of the people, and state also has to become perhaps entrepreneurial state. We have far too long spent our energy on being a welfare state. Distributing the cake was more important than enlarging the size of the cake. This has not resulted in good appreciation of the government as well as for the bureaucracy. Because distribution of a cake or a subsidy is okay, but that doesn't take you along unless people are made capable. That was the criticism against the Manrega also, that digging hole and filling it cannot take economic growth. It can only give a job, that too a temporary job. Now the time has come to reskill, repurpose this situation, the employable people, and I generally say that the school education should be enjoyable, but the higher education must be employable. It cannot be sa vidya ja vimukta mukti ke liye, moksha ke liye ya जीवन सुधार के लिए. No, it has to be for the job orientation, and that is why the new education policy need to be welcome. In fact, government has taken lot of initiative today. Had it been taken about only 2 decades back, we could have a different India. We could have a real Atmanirbhar Bharat, Samman ke Saath Bharat, and a good India which could have really got its place under the sun. Sone ki chidiya to a bhikhari and to now again searching for a Atmanirbhar is a very quick rebound. And today when we are taking up schemes, even in social sectors also, like Ujala, Ujjwala, toilet in everybody's house, No child is left behind. So 100% enrollment at the primary level. All these are very good initiative. Our minimum needs program like Anganwadi centers, ASA workers, the primary health at the primary level has improved a lot. In fact, today we are the only country after the China who has lifted 200 million people above poverty line. The abject poverty that I saw in my village in 1985 does not exist in 2020 when I visited recently. We have a Pakka road, every house has an electricity, we have a health accessible at a 2 or 3 kilometer range only. We have a college, we have a high school, at least 10 high school in the range of 5 kilometer. We have 6 primary school in the range of 2 kilometer. So a lot of things have happened. Maybe some people are so pessimistic that even half glass full looks that only half empty. And I'm one of those who believe that a glass is always full, half with water and half with oxygen or gas. We all know the value of this during Corona times. So it is a positive attitude, not the positive Corona that can make us sail through. I'm one of those who believe that education, health, is the objective today. We have come over from roti kapda makan syndrome. Maybe abject poverty is there. A group of people require food and many other Manrega type of jobs. But many more people, young aspirational India, they don't want Manrega type of work. They want skilled work. They want tool loom training. They want to be employed in a factory as a blue collar worker. So roti kapda makan, bijli sadak pani has now upgraded to education, maybe online education, health, which is digital health and primary health, and therefore broadband, and many other such aspiration requirements are there. And I'm happy to share that bureaucracy has performed wonderful in this digital environment. We have not let down the government. The Jan Dhan account, be it opening of about 32 crore account, not a single new branch was added, but our bank and our bank karmachari, they did wonderful work in opening 32, so many accounts. Same thing is true for our Aadhaar number. Aadhaar is a worldwide success. We are one in the universe today who can design a program which is population scale. People design market scale or geography scale or something like that. We are designing programs for 1 billion. And the strategy of billion plus of India is going to be model for Africa, or model for many other countries. Because total population of EU and America is half of the whole that has been covered under Aadhaar. So Jan Dhan account, Aadhaar cards, and now mobile support with broadband and now 4G is already prevalent, and we are also, in fact, I'm happy that 5G trial has also been started in India. So with hyper fast connectivity, with a smartphone in the hands of every Indian, it is going to change the interaction of citizen and the government. Minimum government and maximum governance will be insisted with the citizen. Where citizens are now empowered. Earlier they were not heard. They were heard once in a 5 year. They were heard once in a 3 year. In fact, India we have a election cycle which every 2 year government has to validate itself that is worthy of governance. Bureaucrats were only assessed yearly, at least ACR. Now with this digital economy, we are assessed every day. You are exposed to your fault lines every day. If I claim that enough beds are available and suddenly somebody goes to the app and finds that only 3 beds are available, not 30, then you are caught on the wrong side. So digital has also empowered the citizen as well as the government to speak truth and share the truth with the citizen. After all, shared truth is more understood than hidden truth. Same thing is also true in a pandemic environment. This is a challenge for the state. Some people are saying that the state is broken. I'm not one of those who believe. It is the same broken state or allegedly broken state which is providing 99% reliable tracking, reliable testing, credible treatment within the hospital premises. We have seen that hospitals which are having oxygen within AIIMS and other such reputed institutions, there is no such casualty that somebody died because of lack of oxygen. They are admitting as many people as they have capability, unlike some private sector where things are not that good. I'm also one of those who believe that this time has come for citizen-centric governance. The digital transformation started with self-attestation, RTI, Prevention of Corruption Act, a strong CAG, a strong CBI, a strong CVC, a stronger CIC, and a very independent and fierce judiciary makes India a unique country in the world. And but this is a good seed for the bureaucrats also. Nobody can force you to do something wrong, because the transparency in the public, the empowerment of the citizen will protect both the government of the day as well as bureaucrat on the spot. I'm one of those who believe that now the time has come for us to promote industrialization. In fact, if we don't do anything, we will be deindustrializing very fast. Even reputed companies are selling product made outside India and only packaging or repackaging or converting them to made in India product, which is neither good nor can create job. And I welcome the scheme like production link incentive that has been announced recently. If it is implemented properly, and I hope and trust that bureaucracy will leave no stone unturned to make it happen, it can bring back the industrial manufacturing to India. Because today we have skilled manpower, we have enough FDI and FII, we have enough technological resources in terms of our research institutions and both digital and non-digital world. And we have seen that the auto sector, the liberalization has worked, the vertical integration of economy with local MSME has worked. Same thing is true in pharmaceutical sector. So we can repeat these successes of automobile as well as pharmaceutical sector to other sectors like textile and leather and electronics, which is again a major drain, because we are buying more electronic product today than we were manufacturing, let's say, only 20 years back. Even SCL computers and many other computers were manufactured in India. Today they are being repackaged. So PLI scheme has come as a boon. We should have done it at least 20 years back, but nevertheless, it is better late than never. I mean, I'm one of those who believe that a Formula One driver will not make much progress in an ambassador car. You need the ecosystem as well as the leadership, both at political and bureaucratic level, to be ready to perform. A sickly system and a healthy democracy, but allegedly India has a broken state. I don't believe in it, but people say so. And we have to prove that we are neither broken at the state level nor broken at the bureaucracy level. Blame is the only takeaway today, but we can't blame everybody for all the time. I do believe that state is neither broken nor is the best of the health. So a lot of things need to be done. One of them is the recruitment to retirement. We need to build the capacity of the state so that they are not let loose just to learn on the job and do all that they can within the given guidelines. The time has come to de-layerize the government. Today, from PM to CM to DM, in case we take up only 3 layers, there are more than 3 layers of politics. The Lok Sabha, Vidhan Sabhas and the Jila Parishads. If we take up the bureaucratic layer right from cabinet secretary to the DM, which is there may be 20 or 25, maybe 30 layers. The 30 into 3 matrix makes you 90, and maybe much more matrix and a lot of problems at the operational level. The time has come to delayer so that the instructions of the government of India, instructions of the state level, instructions to Jila Parishad, instructions to collectors, and including field level officers are one and the same. We have seen in certain areas like COVID app application, single application never be downloaded. 12 crore download of application in 7 days. GST is another example how even the smallest of the small enterprises have registered themselves. JAM success is already there. Now India is ready for digital revolution, and if digital governance is transformative, it can really change both the image, the mindset, and performance of bureaucracy. I'm sure that 75 years is a time of reckoning, but it's time of remembering the past. Everything was not bad when we had a planned economy, and everything will not be good in case we go for total market economy. We need a balance so that efficiency of market economy and a planned systemic intervention of the planned economy is combined, as we have got the different levels of India within our own country. In fact, my teacher used to say that we live in centuries, because if you take a 2020, we live in 2020 AD and BC together. So gap between the last man and to the top man is 4022 years. Maybe it is metaphor, but the fact remains that the India, which is aspiring to buy a house on the moon also, another India, which is Bharat, which is crying for even 2 square meal. We have to balance the interest, and it is the role of bureaucracy to perform at the lower level, at the ground level. We have seen it, it is doable. The way we have done Ujjwala, the way we have done Ujala, the way we have done the PDS rationalization. In fact, PDS, the fake cards are being eliminated. It's a good sign that it goes to the right person, doesn't go to the middleman. And with digital only, we can remove and clean the system. We are the one who have done one of the maximum DBT, digital direct benefit transfer, even during Corona times or pandemic time. So enough success is there. There no need to lose morals and no need to believe that ethics has been thrown out of the window. There are a lot of ethical standards bureaucracy is performing. I'm one of those who believe that hope is the only thing which is stronger than fear. Let's hope for the best and do our best to see that 75th year of Indian independence, when we celebrate, we have the best of the government and best of the governance at the field level, so that difference or distance between citizen and government is the least. I'm one of those who believe that distance from power is poverty, and if we can reduce the distance digitally, we can remove the poverty also. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me a chance to talk to you.